Hello, hello, my darlings, and welcome to this programme of Christmas music, played for us by the Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble. To get you into the mood for Christmas is what we intend to do. And by the way, welcome to my rather nice house, Hodgson Towers, in deepest, darkest mould green. So, whether you're making mince pies, wrapping presents, or just sitting like me beside the fireplace with a glass of noggin or two, I hope you'll enjoy our selection of Christmas carols today. Now, the members of our brass group are not as warm as I am. They're out at the mould green centre, and unfortunately they're going to be just that little. It's a bit parky for them. So they begin with an old favourite, making you think of Christmas drinks and jollity. It's Deck the Halls. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, larfar and a lot of etc. etceteras. Hope that you enjoyed that. It's based on a melody from Wales, by the way, dating back to the 16th century and played by the Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble. Next, we've one of those most popular carols ever, written in 1818 by Austrian schoolmaster Franz Gruber. No, he's no relation to the one with the little tank, and conjuring up a picture of crisp snow in a frozen landscape with bright stars glittering above. Here is Silent Night. The traditional carol, Silent Night, from the Dodworth Colliery Brass Band. It always seems to get me, does that one, because that's the one that our lads on the Somme, heard the Germans singing on Christmas night, and it led to a lot of fraternization, loved by the guys, hated by the generals. But that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Now, another traditional carol. This one all about shepherds lying in the fields with their sheep on a cold winter's night. Well, rather them than me, I say. These shepherds must have been a hardy lot, mustn't they? Anyway, here it is from our brass group, The First Noel. The First Noel, and I don't even think we'll see the second one on Christmas television. How times change. And I do hope that those shepherds in the field did have a flask of producer Barry Davenport's homebrew to keep themselves warm on their overnight stay in those frozen fields. But hang on a minute, who says the fields were frozen anyway? It's out in the Middle East. They were probably sweating cobs. I am as well with that fire, but I do want to keep it in because I know you'd like to warm yourself on it. So, now an unlikely tale of a 10th century king accompanied by his page boy, tramping through the frozen wastes to invite just a peasant into his palace for a slap-up fish supper. Oh, I'm assuming that. Can you see a king in his warm palace just trudging out through the snow on a freezing night? No, neither can I. Why didn't he just send his page out to bring the peasant back in? Also, the carol doesn't say or even tell us if the king was successful in finding the peasant in the first place. So, this tune is from the 13th century, and the words to this unlikely of stories were written by John Mason Neale in 1853. So, it's over now to Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble for the carol Good King Wenceslas. Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble and the carol Good King Wenceslas. Now come on, admit it, when you were at school and you didn't know the words properly, how many of you sang Good King Wenceslas, last look out? I bet you all have. Anyway, Now on to a tale of no room at the inn, when Mary and Joseph had to make do with accommodation that was a slightly less than 2-star, I should imagine. It's a cowshed, of course, and where she gave birth to the Messiah. Here's one of the most popular carols, dating from the late 19th century, Away in a Manger. Away in a Manger, played by Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble. Yes, I say Dodworth because that's how it's spelt, but it is actually pronounced Dodworth. Now, I'd like to thank, by the way, the costume department here for finding the very best of Christmas clothes for me to wear. What does Christmas mean in terms of colour? Yellow and black, I ask you. Nice one, guys. Anyway, let's get on to our next carol. Well, I say carol, but it isn't at all, but it is a very well-known piece of Christmas music. I hope you're going to enjoy and imagine a sleigh pulled by a single horse, no, not 6 reindeer, galloping through the snow-laden countryside, and you will conjure up the picture depicted in this piece of music. Jingle bells, and the horse can have the rest now as we move on to our next carol. It's an old French one. I've known many old French ones, I must admit. And it talks of plants that are traditional to Christmas and the festive season. Do you think it'll mention sprouts once? The Dodworth Colliery Brass play for us now, the holly and the ivy. The Holly and the Ivy, and you pays your money and you takes your choice because there are two very famous tunes to that. I hope the brass ensemble paid the right one for you. If they didn't, well, you'll have to sing the other one at church on Christmas Day, won't you? Another non-carol now, about a reindeer with an unusual attribute. He's not really part of Santa's team of reindeer, but he always seems to get in on the act. That's probably because he bullies his way in and he's got a good equity card. Or could it be mainly because of the song? Incidentally, can you name all of Santa's reindeer? You can have a go if you like while you listen to the music, and I'll tell you all their names when you've heard it. So here's a tale of a foggy night and a reindeer guiding Santa's sleigh. Obviously had a sat-nav. It's Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, here's to you, and that of course was played by the Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble. Now, did you get all the names right of Santa's reindeer? Well, here they are. See, I can do it, why can't you? Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, and Donner and Blitzen. Did you get them all right? Pour yourself another glass. We're coming towards the end of our tour of programme, and we move on now to what is probably the king of carols. Nearly every carol concert this Christmas will end with this particular one. We're not going to, it's going to be the next to the end. Here's Dodworth Colliery Brass with O Come, All Ye Faithful, and yes, to show off, you can sing it in Latin. O come, all ye faithful, bringing our programme to a close for today. All that remains for me now to do is to thank the boys and the girls of Dodworth Colliery Brass Ensemble for performing this programme of Christmas music for us. Hope that you have enjoyed it, And I'd like to wish you, from all of us here at Kirklees Local TV, a very pleasant Christmas and a very peaceful and prosperous New Year. And the band put our wishes into music. We wish you a Merry Christmas.